Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with SimplerOptions.com, and in tonight's free video, I wanted to look at a couple of ideas in NVDA. This market has been a little bit soft here lately with semis in general, and it's an interesting point in time because we have another squeeze in play. Now, what's interesting about this one is that we don't know that if the current squeeze is going to perform like the last one did, or it gave us a pretty sharp move lower. There's part of me that thinks that that could happen, and then you see the move down into 200, 203, right at the 200-day moving average. There is part of me that thinks that that could come through. At the same time, I always try to be mindful of whenever an underlying is heading into earnings, and especially something like NVIDIA that could catch a bid out of nowhere, and then we're looking at another day where this is up, 3 or 4% into the earnings report. So one of the trades that I'm considering as we get into Wednesday and Thursday is to look at a long straddle. So it's just the idea of coming in, and the one that you decide to pick really depends on how you are, which direction you choose for the market. When I look at this, and just for the sake of tonight's discussion, let's say that I have a little bit more of a bearish take on it. So I'm going to come in and look at buying the 225 straddle. And I buy the 225 because at that point I'm going to have the 225 put that has $4 of intrinsic value, while the 225 call is out of the money. So what this does is it says, I've got a little bit of a bias thinking that it will head back down this direction. But if I'm wrong and instead prices explode higher, well, then I'm still going to have some cushion in that. Now, that's all fine ideas as far as, saying you could try to benefit off of it both ways as far as direction is concerned. But another reason why I'm considering this trade in NVIDIA is because if you look at the IV percentile, this is a couple of things that you want to think about. First off, this is just telling us that the implied volatility in NVIDIA has room to grow. It's just barely higher than it's been, kind of its midpoint for the past 52 weeks. So what that's telling me is that this series could continue to expand in volatility. So not only do you have the chance of the squeeze giving you a big move, but if you choose this series, you will also see an expansion of implied volatility. So this is the series I will likely choose to do that. You could also see some of the benefit here because you'll see IV kick up, but not as much. Of course, this series also will not have as much theta decay. So that's the strategy I'm looking at. These are two series to choose in it. I would also say that if you decide to pick this up at something like $21, have your targets sitting out there to try to sell them at 24 or 25, whatever percentage gain you feel is appropriate for yourself, and then just lock in any low-hanging fruit that you may be able to find in this market. So I hope that's helpful, and we will see you at the next free video.